Hey, and welcome to video number 8. In this specific video, you're going to learn how to set realistic goals. Now, how do you set realistic goals, and how do you measure it, and how do you know if it's attainable and reachable and so forth? Well, we're going to be using a specific method called SMART for a goal, and it was created by a guy named George T. Duran. Now, whether you're a thinker or a feeler or a sensor or intuitive, you can always tweak the methods to the way that you think. So by that, what I'm going to give you is what SMART means and how you can achieve them. But if you're a systematic sensor type person, you're going to probably want to do things in a systematic way like SMART. But if you're a type of intuitive person, you can do it any way you want. Some of you are scattered, some of you are systematic, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way you think. But you can do TR, you can do it in different, ways. So just remember that as long as you're using the method to analyze a specific goal, that's what matters. So let's start with the acronym SMART. S stands for specific, M is measurable or meaningful, A is attainable or action-oriented, R is relevance or rewarding, and T is time-bound or trackable. Now, let me go in more depth about the specific or the S part. The goal needs to be very, very specific. If it's too general, then it's going to be hard to attain. So the greater chance of it being accomplished and completed and reached is greater than a general goal. So what I want you to do to figure out if it is specific, because sometimes we think it's specific and it really is not, but you can figure this out by answering these 6 questions. We got who, what, when, where, and why. So who is involved in this specific goal? You're involved, who else is involved, and so forth. Because if it relies on somebody else, then that could cause complications or could speed it up, depending on the person. So, okay, who's involved? You're involved, and so is involved. You need to figure out if that person is reliable and if they can actually complete their task that is part of the goal. And then what do you need to accomplish? And then what do I want to accomplish in the specific goal? What are the benefits of this specific goal? And then where? Identify a location for that specific goal. And then when? Establish a time frame for that goal. And then why? Identify some requirements and constraints. Let me give you an example. A general goal would be, I'm going to eat right. Yeah, I'm going to go lose some weight. How are you going to do that though? But be specific would be, okay, I'm going to eat right by finding a diet plan and recipes and cook the food on these certain days, and I'm going to go exercise these certain days and so forth. So that would be a specific goal that you can actually achieve. Now, I'm not saying that eating right is not something that you can achieve. It's just better and easier for you if it is specific. Measurable, if you can't measure, then how are you going to know that you're going to reach that specific goal? Measurable means that you can actually measure it. It cannot be something like, I want to stop world peace, or something general like that. You've got to ask yourself these questions: how much, how many, and how far, to ensure that they are measurable, attainable, reachable, action-oriented. Besides being measurable, are they realistically attainable. With your abilities and your skill set, can you actually reach these goals? Or with your abilities, your skill set, and those other people that are involved, can you as a team reach these goals? So what I want you to do is write down whether this is possible or if not. And if not, what do you need to do to get to that point? Do you need to get more people that have the abilities and skill set in that area, or so forth? Most goals you can attain by baby steps. Break them up into baby steps so that you can reach the finish line. A lot of times a big general goal, even though it is split up into 3 different phases, you can split those 3 different phases into much smaller baby steps. And I'm going to show you that in the video after this to show you how to become self-accountable. And you'll actually be surprised that after you have a list of 20 baby steps versus, let's say, 3 baby steps, you're starting to check them off the list. And you're going to become very, very motivated that you're going to want to complete all the little baby steps because you realize, wow, this is actually very, very easy to do. And of course, relevant. After you break your major goal into many baby steps and many baby step goals, ask yourself, do these minor goals relate or are they relevant to the main goal? Or do they deviate from the main goal? And then we have time bound. Give yourself a realistic time frame. Give yourself and give each baby step a time frame. I know this is going a little further in detail, and I'll show you that in just a minute in the next video, but giving each baby step a time frame will allow you to speed the process up, and you'll be able to see everything in step-by-step mode, get it all done, and you're going to become a happy camper. This will make it attainable and realistic. And also include what happens if they are not attained. You might want some sort of positive reinforcement, then negative. However, sometimes you need negative reinforcement to remind you to move forward. Sort of like previously I talked about the how to break habits. Break bad habits. You can get a buddy of yours and say, hey, keep this money, and if I don't focus and get this done, you can keep the money and so forth. So positive reinforcement is something that you definitely want the majority of, but it doesn't hurt to have some negative reinforcement as well.